Hello, hello, back again. Day drinking with David. Very glad to be here. It's very hot outside, so I've created a seclusion zone inside the shop. Nobody's allowed in the Italian Isle right now. Yeah, we're keeping our distance and selling lots of booze and having a lot of fun. I've got a lot of it's kind of a hodgepodge day. I was feeling... I said last week I was feeling Mezcal and got this insane product in, and I had to taste it. I've also got some new products from an interesting little producer, OAX or OX, or I'm not exactly sure. I was told how to say it properly, but I've forgotten. They're a small artisanal producer. I'm going to have a taste of these very cool looking bottles. And very excited to try that. The bottle isn't everything, but it's something. I've got a third one of these. Oh, I've lost it. Oh, well, maybe I only do two. Oh, there it is. So that's a Tovala, Tempestate, and the Araqueño. Some fancy stuff. Joe wants to be in my video. I'm going to skip Joe. Thank you. So we got the Mezcales, and then we're moving on. I've got this fun little thing. I'm interested to try this. This is California Brandy from an important distiller in California, a large distiller in California, selecting casks from 5 to 10 years old, aged in American, French, and sherry barrels, double distilled on copper pot stills. And finally, thanks for coming, Daniel. Cheers. Our new Linkwood, very unusual cask, very weird color. I was surprised to see that. I don't remember it being like that. The fabulous looking Glen Alecky 19, which I think will probably be the sleeper hit of the year. Look at that. That's not sherry, apparently. I haven't tasted this in some time. And then we're going to finish off with the famous Rare Breed Rye. So, a nice mix-up of different styles, and hope everybody's well. Thank you for being here. It's been a busy, busy week. We've got lots of new stuff coming in. I wonder... Oh, Vic saw the Barillon drop. That is dope. I bought every Barillon there is. Because I love the Claveries, and I feel like they deserve it. I'm not opening the Blair Athol because every time I try to grab a bottle, it sells out. The Blair Athol, by the way, is just delicious, and I will eventually taste it here, as long as you guys don't buy it all. Mellow corn, we're saving. I'm gonna have someone blind me on per one of your suggestions. Thank you so much. Some blind tastings in the future. It's a little difficult to organize now, upon looking at it, because, it's one thing to blind yourself with stuff you already know, like sort of silly. So I have to organize with one of my compatriots here. The Blair is not better than the Mortlock. It's different than the Mortlock. The Blair has maybe more depth. It's more obviously, the Mortlock is darker, but because of the snappy smoke, it's not as obvious sherry. The Blair Athol is of the three, like the most driven on that side. Old Forester barrel strength, I haven't opened yet. Glad you bought one. I think it should sell out. It probably already sold out. It was, it's kind of come and go. Is that what you guys are really interested in? I think I have a sample, but you'd have to sit and wait for me to go grab it. They're very, very different from each other, so it's a difficult call on that. I'm in love with that Mortlock. The Blair Athol was my favorite. That's what I've been telling people from the start, but it's not as obvious. I think, when we get samples, they're often aerated quite a bit because they're in the little bottles and they've been there. So the Blair Athol is growing on me in a way that the Mortlock was right out of the Forester didn't even show on the feed. That's impossible. We had 180 bottles. It It must have shown on the feed. Well, you know, it's pretty good stuff, but there's other stuff out there. We got, everybody's been asking 6 bottles of Russell's Reserve, 13 year, and those sold out very quickly. And I might be getting more. They're talking about like now doing these combos where we might be able to get more. It's on the feed. So that might be cool. 2 minutes? That seems nuts. For the Old Forester? 2 minutes? Maybe I didn't put a bottle limit. I mean, who takes 6 of those though? It's like, so yeah, Forester, fun. It was on the feed shortly before it disappeared. That's typical. Appeared at 1 o'clock. The page at 1:09. It was gone already. Yeah, it's just 7 minutes. That's not too bad. Did you do tasting notes on Remus Repeal? I haven't posted my tasting notes, but I did taste it here. So if you want to go back to some of my older things, you can have a look. Walked into Bevmo and yeah, the great thing about a store without a website, anything can happen. I guess they do have a website, but you can't really buy anything on there. Yes, thank you, Chris. It is Mezcal time. So we're going to start... God, it's hard to decide what to start with. I think I'm going to start with the Tovala. This is 44% alcohol. You should look at these bottles if you can pull them up. They're really, really gorgeous. I was attracted to the bottle, and then the story is pretty interesting as well. This is a traditional artisanal producer. Oh, look at that. The color is a bit wild. Let me redo that. They're quite expensive, but so it goes with fancy mezcal these days. Did I miss questions? I'll buy a whole turkey farm for an art. I would love to own a turkey farm. So if you buy me a turkey farm, I will get you a Russell's Reserve 13. But it's got to be in Kentucky, near wild turkey. I'm a big fan of wild turkey, as you might know already. Oh, it does have a little hue to it. I thought that was me. Oh, that smells good. Tovala. Potaterum is the family name, the genus agave potaterum. At 88 proof, a little bit lower, but it's got great nose. OF barrel proofs took 15 minutes according to somebody. That's shocking. Let us know if you got more Wheatley vodka to get more allocated bottles. Unfortunately, we can't sell enough Wheatley vodka to make a dent. We need to sell Yukon Jack Honey. We need to sell Fireball, which I'm not going to be selling here. And I've never even had Kin Moonshine. But luckily, I think the combo for that will be with the Russell's 10 and 6, which are products that we always love. Stag Junior is vastly underrated. That's an interesting standpoint. I'm not sure that's actually accurate. I think it's quite highly rated. It might be underpriced, be undervalued if you get it, at retail. But this is a gorgeous little. I wish I had the bottle to show you, but little Tovala from Wax or OAX, or I should know how to say it, but I wasn't paying attention. We did taste the Tamdu 20. It was very malty off the wood. I've got the Linkwood 18 here, which is a very weird whiskey. I don't remember it being quite so weird, but it is pretty fun. I'll sell single barrel cast strength Fireball all day long. And I'm really enjoying this. It's not the Oaxaca brand. It's a different brand, actually. OAX. It's got a very cool, kind of modern Mexican architectural style bottle. The nose has great Oaxaca. Has great fruit and spice. Not too smoky. I don't like you roast that Tovala too much, you just get mesquite. It's pretty tasty. Oh, it's got some smoke on the palate, though. Onward and Upward. This is their Marmorata Tempestate, a very slow-growing agave. Usually takes 15 plus years to mature. Again, at 88 proof. Must be Siller likes that proof. I won't sell you Fireball. Sovereign 28 tasting. Yeah, I think that's gonna sell out before I'm even gonna get to open a bottle. We sold out of the first one. The old malt cask, I believe, is gone, and there's only like 10 bottles of the Spaceside's Finest. Okay, this is Tempestate. You know, it doesn't have as much. I usually expect Tempestate to have like tons of green, you know, almost peppery, green pepper character. It's a little friendlier. It definitely has some vegetal character. Again, quite easygoing. Way less smoke than the Tobola. Interesting. Tobola is a complicated plant. You know, there are a couple different types. Sounds like they're fixing the or servicing the AC. There's someone on the roof. Big Shanto really like the U-Ball. Fabulous plant. It makes incredible mezcal. Can you guys hear me? We bought an incredible Tempestate from a producer in Michoacán, and have enjoyed some really interesting Tempestate from various producers. It's very rare, actually. It's incredible how little is actually out there, according to the producers who we talked to. But they are big plants, so there's something to be said for that. This is Arroqueño. This is agave, I believe, Americana, maybe? Wow. This is pretty easy going now. A lot of pepper. Maybe I should have done the Arroqueño first. Curious how you'd compare Resperal to these mezcals you're going to test. So Resperal, of course, is not one thing. These are more curated in the sense that they're likely, you know, maybe a little bit easier going, and they're searching for maybe a little more continuity across the line, although the Tobola is quite intense, which is interesting. Resperal, each batch is totally unique and does not necessarily connect to the next. You know, the guy who runs it is picking them out based on, you know, desirability as well as, you know, just his preferences. And is someone trying to sell old Rip Van Winkle on our feed? That's crazy. You got kicked off. That guy got kicked off. Don't sell stuff on my feed. I didn't know I could do that. That's really fun. Curious, how'd you compare Resperal? Okay, great. Banned. That was funny. Someone asked if anybody wanted to buy some old Rip Van Winkle 10-year. That's insane. Anyway. Party foul, big time party foul. He's got the right crowd. I'll tell you what. But I don't imagine you're getting a good deal from this guy. So that's how you get on the Instagram blacklist. I'm sure you can still shop here. It's pretty hard to get totally ejected. This Arroqueño is pretty. It's got some minerality to it. It's not a big spicy one. Green. Not a lot of heat. Well, this is pretty serious mezcal. It is maybe it's got a lot of character on the palate. A lot more earthiness on the palate than the nose would suggest. Those are really interesting. They're going to be quite expensive. They're very pretty. The bottles are exquisite. I spoke with the designer who built the bottle, who designed the bottle, and she's a pretty interesting woman. But I'm sure we'll have those. See what happens when you get 60 followers. I know, you get all the trolls. So this is something I'm really excited about. Pal Alma is an incredible brand. this guy. He's out there in the shiz, as they say, sourcing stuff. This is apparently ancestral mezcal from Guerrero. It doesn't state that on the bottle because it's not mezcal, according to the Mexican government. It's aguardiente de agave, but it is distilled in Guerrero. They also don't disclose the distiller's full name. This isn't super safe part of Mexico, and I think if you're doing commerce, maybe you're like in Jesus Christ. Maybe you're in in trouble with the local gangs or something like that. So they don't put the name of the village or the name of the distiller except for his first name. I'm just noticing this is a lot of 32 bottles, which seems nuts. If Remus is back, that means all your stuff is getting processed. Don't worry, it's fine. I don't know why they received it in before they processed those orders, but everything finally showed up for Remus, so don't worry. Order another if you want. Have at it. Oh no, this is not Ancestral. This is Casa de Cobra. Oh well, the supplier sold it incorrectly. It's still delicious. It is Cupriata. 32 bottles? That seems outrageous. I think I bought 24 of them. Crazy. Anyway, I'm obsessed with Guerrero. I love the juice. You saw that. Yeah, the label's very cool. He specialized for a long time in like Pachuga style spirits. And this is their non-Pachuga line, the Pal Alma. But Alma Mezcalera. He also had a bar as well. So, this is weird. This is wonderful. This is a whole different level. So, much funkier than the last three we've tasted, which were, Oaxaca has a reputation for making pretty fabulous spirits, but they are very they're more uniform than you'd find within Guerrero. I mean, this has a lot going on. There's definitely some of that, this like ultra ripe, like on the borderline of rotten, like pineapple fruit. Any chance the Remus Barrel Proof came in with the big Repeal 5 shipment? No, we haven't seen the Barrel Proof yet. I'm on it. I will buy as much as they'll give me. Oh, this stuff is nuts. There's a wonderful kind of odd earthiness to it. It's not like the Arroqueño at all with that kind of mineral rocky thing. It's more like a fresh tilled soil. There's a citrus element, which I think is key to keep it all together. Oh, it's downright leathery on the palate. This is expensive stuff. It's extremely rare. Obviously, only 36 bottles, apparently. I didn't realize it was quite that rare. And it's rich. It's oily. It's complex. This is the sort of mezcal that'll bring a Scotch drinker down the rabbit hole. Not super smoky. Tons of acidity, almost a floral quality on the palate. A little bit of diesel fumes. Fabulous. All right, now we're going to do an intermezzo Brandy Lab. This is a new one for us. This is one of the large brandy distillers in California. I'm excited to try this. I've been promising this guy. I've tasted for a long time, and I figured this was a good time. This sort of hodgepodge tasting to go through things. Spitstream stays in. Yes, I just can't figure out a way to do this properly. It's too much work to go off camera for that. So yeah, that's pretty interesting. So barrel proof Old Forester sold very quickly. Any news on the new Ben Nevis? I'm kind of bummed about the labels. I miss those old labels, and not everybody's like super into the new Ben Nevis label, but I love those old labels. No, I can't believe we are not selling Ben Nevis, the standard bottlings. It seems insane that that the importer of Nika isn't able to handle that. It just hasn't been in the cards for their production. It's not a huge distillery, and they sell it elsewhere, and it was here for a little while. Someone did just offer me a 24-year-old Ben Nevis, a new bottler. It was quite expensive. I don't know. Would we pay $240 for Ben Nevis? I didn't taste the Kilchoman PX. I just bought it because why not? I'm sure it's lovely, sweet and peat. Maybe I'll do that here. Any new stuff coming from Vago? That's interesting, Whiskey Badger. I was just talking about it. We are looking to do a exclusive batch with them. So yeah, working on that. A very rare agave type that I'd never tasted before. It's quite good. I think it's like a Karwinski offshoot, if I remember correctly. Thoughts on Cinco Sentidos that dropped online today? I didn't buy that. I don't know which one those are. Which one specifically? I might have tasted them. Is it a K&L exclusive? Then I definitely tasted it, but was not made aware that it was available. Andrew's back, so all the Cinco Sentidos are exceptional in my estimation. Kind of like the new Old Scout label, the rye. Yeah, I thought it was kind of nice too. A new bottle shape and everything. The new Contradiction rye is a pretty interesting idea. They should have good access. I just saw it pop up and ordered some. I haven't tasted it either. Smooth Ambler, I'm always down. This is pretty nice. It's very citrus driven. It's got a lot of that like Seville orange peel on the nose. A lot of sherry isn't overwhelming. I think brandy and sherry sometimes is too much. A little chocolatey. A lot of red fruit. Only complaint is the low proof, but I wonder how much it costs. Interesting stuff. Not a bad little brandy lab. Kind of interesting. Reminds me of, I don't know, another craft distillery had bottles almost exactly like this. Okay, moving on. We're going to do the Linkwood. Linkwood 18. Very weird color. I don't remember it being this color. It's like almost green. So wild. Got to do a shout out to Will. Super knowledgeable and friendly. I couldn't agree more. We're so lucky to have Mr. William Blakely, the one and only. He's quite a gentleman as well. Knowledgeable. Has excellent taste. Shout out to Will Blakely from Live to Swim 06. Throw up a Yelp review, 5 stars. That always gets the people's attention. The Linkwood herbal, malty, not very oaky. Oh, I should have gotten some water for this. This needs a little water for sure. OF, Old Forester Rye, barrel strength. No, we haven't got it yet. You haven't missed the boat. It's going to be tight, though. That one's going to be one of these small ones. What's with the Century City thing? I haven't heard anything about that. So if you know more than me, I'm happy to please type it out here. I can't speak to it intelligently. Linkwood is a funny distillery. This is a funny whiskey. Will gave me a great recommendation on red vermouth yesterday. He's the best. He knows it all. Oh, it's a bold, spicy one. Some sweet roasted malt. Definitely has an herbal side. I think this one likes water, if I remember correctly. Yes, I should address that. The Linkwood was that I had planned to have was there under the old malt cask label, but it showed up under the Hepburn's Choice label. I don't know what's going on with this. It also says, funnily enough, blended malt Scotch on the back. So I guess they were trying to get rid of their old labels from our days of tariffs. So a weird bottling all in all. Definitely loves some water. Has a big herbal side to it, as Linkwood tends to. That's the 18-year Hepburns, yes. The slightly green one. I asked them about that. I was like, I don't remember this color being this. Anyway, a fine whiskey. On to the Glen Alecky 19. Look at that color. Very distinctive, especially compared to the last one. This shouldn't be in sherry. They said it wasn't sherry, but it is dark. It is dark. Some active oak, no doubt. It's just incorrectly labeled. The liquid is a bit of a disaster, honestly, because it came in wrong. It was labeled wrong. Everything is wrong about it. But liquid's liquid. It's not bad. Give it some water. On to the Glen Alecky. Gorgeous color there. Beautiful. Wow. Look at that. This is a whole different world. Okay. Yeah. I mean, that's interesting, Jason. I think it was just an oversight, honestly. One-off mistakes like that are not really a big deal. We must have submitted the label the way it came. I just was under the impression that it would be old malt cask. Certainly the Scotch Whiskey Association doesn't love it, but it's not as if, there's only a couple hundred bottles of this, not even. So it's not as if it's going to be an ongoing thing. Well, different, no sherry. So this is active hoggy, probably first fill hoggy. So there's definitely some woodsiness. It is an oaky. It's an oaky one. No sherry. Definitely doesn't feel sherry. With the first fill hoggy, you're gonna have the new oak heads on there, and likely mostly ex-bourbon, maybe a couple of sherry staves added in there, but it's not so distinctive. The nose is big and spicy. Chris is asking about Doc Swinson's range, specifically how you feel about the Alter Ego Rye. I'm not really prepared to discuss that right now. I like Doc Swinson's a lot, and I appreciate what they're doing. 4 to 6 year old rye finished in rum. It's pretty good stuff. The high end stuff obviously is spectacular. They're coming out with a higher proof bourbon, which I'm really excited for, which will be the base of their Solera brand, the Alter Ego bourbon. So yeah, they're a good partner, and I appreciate what they're doing. So yeah, if you want sherry, certainly stick to the 10-year-old CS. This new batch of CS is really dark sherry, coffee dark. Well, not quite, but close. If you want more of the distillery character, then go for the 19. SW. Yeah, well, this is really good. The Glen Alecky is gorgeous. That's funny. Damn fine dram. You might be. They aren't, because of course they're important, but they're self-regulating, the Scottish Whiskey Association, and so it goes. We did just have to pull off all the mention of some of our teaspoon malts recently, so that's interesting. So that's something that going forward, we won't be able to use as much of. Doesn't matter. The whiskeys are great. I don't care if I have to say the distillery or not. You've been doing a lot of Mezcal lately. My wife's go-to has been the U-Ball Mezcal for making palomas. Any other recommendations based on what she likes? Which U-Ball was it, Just Ben 80? If it's the entry-level Espadin, I highly recommend, while we can get it, the Scotch Espadin for $29.99 is a killer deal. I'm a huge fan of Malbien. Their entry-level is lovely. And there are a couple other brands for sure that you're looking at, but right now that Scotch is killer. Hey, thank you, Live to Swim. Really appreciate that. Left a Yelp review. And if anybody else wants to highlight how much they love particularly one of our staff, which is, the powers that be do notice that sort of thing. So that's never a bad way to do it. Joven, check out that Coach for $29.99 is killer. And if you want to step it up just a little bit, they have an Ancestral Espadin, which means clay pot hand mashed for $55, and those won't last. I mean, those should be double the price more. What's one Scotch in stock that really blows you away under $250? Sure, Mortlock Sovereign. Sure, why not? Wonderful little cask. I love the Blair Athol. I would have said the Bravall 17, but that came and went. There's a lot more Scotch coming. I'm super into the Tomatin Sherry Cask 25 year that we're getting old and rare series from Hunter Lane. That's exquisite. Glen Alecky's great. Highly recommend that as well. Big boy Glen Alecky. All right, moving on. Here's one of my favorite distilleries in Kentucky, the Rare Breed. This is the Barrel Proof Rye from our friends at Wild Turkey. This is, I don't know if they have batch numbers. They just have the number 4 char. No batch numbers, just the proof, which is 112.2. Yes, the Bravall is dope. That's such a good buy. And we're so lucky to be partnering with Hart Brothers. They do so much. Do definitely add water for this Glen Alecky, because that's going to love some water. But the next batch of stuff from Hart Brothers is out of control. I've said that many times here. They just added a Longmorn, heavily sherry Longmorn, 10-year, one of my favorite distilleries in the Speyside region. It's $60. Insane. So Rare Breed Rye. If you know, Wild Turkey sort of was a sleeper for a long time and suddenly has become so hot, particularly because of its new release, as well as the Russell's 13 that has come out. The Russell's Cask Strength 13. We do have 6 bottles available for the friends. Oh, Andre made it. Perfect timing, Andre. The friends who come through today, the Ben Nevis Thompson. No, I can't taste it. It's gone. It's sold out. I can't taste these ones that are sold out. It's unfortunate. Sign me up for the Longhorn. Right on, Andre. Also, Andre, I'm buying an old 83. I know you're always looking for the 83s. I just was thinking of you the other day. Something came through, and I was like, oh, Andre's going to want that. It's expensive, but you know how it goes. So Russell's 13. I have 6 bottles for you. If you can tell me the year that Jimmy Russell started working at the distillery in Kentucky, Tyrone, and that was a long time ago, no doubt. And so there's 6 of those. We are going to do a little bit of a lottery style, guys, so no rush. Go ahead and get your Googling out. You don't have to rush it. It's all good. Send it to David Girard, Girard, at KLWines.com. And then I'll pick 6 names out of the hat. It's gotten pretty... Oh, thank you. Film Sushi blows it up for everybody. Go ahead and email me if you want a Russell's 13. The 6 names will get picked out of a hat. Film Sushi just helped everybody out, so give it a go. But, you got to be paying attention, I guess. So, oh my God, this Wild Turkey Rare Breed tastes delicious. Well, it smells delicious. I haven't tasted it yet. Oh, yeah. Lots going on the nose. We were really lucky. It was so hard to get this stuff. And then, I got an email and they were like, well, here's some Rare Breed. And we took a big chunk of it. Wow. Beautiful nose. What if Sushi Film was throwing you off, though? Better double check, because if you're wrong, I had someone the other day send in the distiller for Four Roses, current master distiller for Four Roses, Bent Erickson. I really enjoyed that. Oh, sorry, Bent Elliott. It was Bent Elliott, not Bent Erickson. It wasn't quite that far off, but it was fun. I think they may have won, actually. Wild Turkey RB is an excellent value. It is. This is the rye, the rare breed rye, 112.2. I love Wild Turkey, and I love their rye. And my dad was born in 1954 as well. Or maybe 1953. No, 1954. Nice. You got it, damn fine dram. God, this has such a serious nose. Are you guys getting the Blue Run Golden Rye? Yes, we are. I tasted it the other day. It's pretty good. Bent Erickson sounds like a Viking. It's the new Highland Park expression. Lots going on here. Big spice. A lot of sweetness, though. Tend to like Russell's Reserve better. Is that what you mean, Andre? Well, anyway, I'm sure you guys have crushed my inbox with various dates for Jimmy Russell. Jimmy Russell is is an American treasure, and I will literally challenge anybody to find a more interesting and important person in the Kentucky bourbon industry. I don't think there is one. He's fabulous. Brave All sold out. Yes, sorry. I apologize. I warned you guys, though. Gave a lot of warning on that one. The Golden Rye will be reasonably wide release, or only a few bottles. I think it will be slightly more available than the last ones. It's younger, and I think there's more of it, but that doesn't mean it will be more available, because that means more people will want it. We shall see. Do you like Willet for your rye also? Preference between that and turkey? I do like Willet rye also. They're different beasts. The turkey feels older to me. And yeah, the Willet, I give you that, is more floral, more wood on the turkey. Money has got it right on. Different moods to me, But Willet, the Willet Rye is really very, very good. Oh my God, there's a lot of action going on right here. I'm trying to keep up. In the lottery, no less. Yes, Dan. It's upsetting but we're gonna spit it all out. Wild Turkey's great. Yeah, people. I'm missing the single barrels. I have to say, the Russell's single barrels. Damn. Eddie and Jimmy like their bourbon frozen. Have you tried it that way? I haven't tried it. Jimmy Russell's always at the distillery. If you want to meet him, just go to the distillery. He will be there eventually. He's pretty much there every day. Any news on the Glen Keith, Tormore, and Ben Rinnis? We're trying to get them in. I'm trying to get the warehouse moving. That's all I can say. It should be sooner than later. Drinking some 6-year Willet. Lucky man. Joe Malioco, greater than Jimmy Russell. I do love Joe. He has got something going on. I'll give him that. But he is he is maybe New York's finest persona in Kentucky. But Jimmy is pure through and through Kentucky born and bred. 568 are on the live stream. It's funny that it feels like there aren't that many people now. There's 73 people here, but there's actually more like 150, 200 that come through during the stream, and they all seem to come right around the time I'm giving away stuff. So I tend to get 150 plus emails because people watch it right after or something like that, and then they email. Can you post your email? Okay, Chuck, just for you. Russells, we have 6 of those. Those will go quickly, but we're going to do a little, you just use a little random number generator and pick names out of the hat. It's going to be easy. And I'll let, of course, everybody who doesn't win know. And Beam, thank you so much for that. So much. B, I assume. Have you tried the Canadian Obtainium Rye? I haven't. I just bought as much as they'd give me because it sounded cool. Speaking of rye, Jack Daniel's single barrel cask strength, I don't know. That was one of those 6 bottles and done. Those came and went. I assume they'll make more. That's how it went with the cask strength bourbon single barrels. This select was the only live viewers should get a chance at the lottery, right? That's correct. Yes, if you are watching this after the show, don't bother emailing because you will not win. I mean, you wouldn't have won in the the previous system, which was first come first serve. Now you still won't win because it is live viewers only. We love you to be here live. We love you watching after. Is the Obtainium a rye? I thought it was light whiskey. This is their first rye. Yes, that is a great question. The 14-year is a 43% rye, 47% corn. So pretty unusual. They must have been blended young because they typically distill them separately. The other one, the 27-year, is much older, and it's a weird blend of different things. So, yeah, I didn't get to try the Polish. I was surprised that they were able to bring that in. Pretty interesting stuff. It was a light whiskey. We don't have a light whiskey. We have the Canadian rye and the Canadian blended whiskey. Live is the best way to watch. I totally agree, but you can't all be here. I know some of our fans are pushing for a David After Dark segment or a night drinking. I prefer night drinking, but we shall see. Buying a bunch of stuff to try and really try hard to enjoy it, but it's so hard to really taste what most people taste in whiskey. Am I doing something wrong, or is whiskey not for me? That's a really interesting question. It can't be for everyone. It's not about the 27-year. They did cut it a little. It's not the 156 proof. So that's a great question. I'd say one thing I'd recommend is take smaller sips. Take really tiny sips, and basically drink as much as coats your entire palate. If it's good whiskey, that should be a really enjoyable way to experience the flavors without having the heat or the intensity. If it's bad whiskey, it'll taste even worse. So it goes. David After Dark is much better than night drinking. Okay, well, it's a different vibe, I'll tell you what. So that's what I'd recommend. Also, what are you drinking? That's a good question. If it's stuff that everybody else likes, what I'd do is hone in on the few things that you do like and give me an email. Shoot me an email and I can suggest something. Maybe you should be drinking brandy. Brandy's pretty cool. Let's see. God willing, you can start night drinking in an actual bar one of these days. Oh my God, that would be spectacular. That's exactly right. It's going to get sloppy. Would be nice to actually drink. It's slightly torture for the alcoholics like me. I understand. I'm very apologetic, although this is literally my life. What do you think of the Cat's Eye Light Whiskey? They've never offered it to us. I haven't tasted it. It's usually, I like some of those older MGP light whiskeys, but only when the price is right. So, yeah, for $60-$70, it can be good. But I haven't tasted it. I've only had I haven't even had the Canadian Rye. I just bought it on spec because it sounded cool. I will open that here next week, maybe. Mercier Pat says they tried the 27-year-old Obtainium from another store. It was pretty good. Slight preference for their normal light whiskey, though. Was that the hazmat, the 156 proofer? Tiny sips and let it open for 10 minutes. Yes, there you go. Too complex and interesting for some used to just burp. If you scroll back up in the feed, my email's up there. David After Dark is definitely the winner, and not because I will receive royalties for the name. All right, David After Dark. I guess that's the consensus. As long as you enjoy your drinking, that's all that matters. I totally agree. If this is not fun for you, you should not. Oh, those are pretty serious things. Marv likes to sip. Yeah, those are all good things. Elijah Craig barrel, I guess that should be barrel proof. Foursquare rum, 1920. I guess it's Old Forester. Maker's special release. Maybe you should drink Scotch. Was the question Eddie or Jimmy? Jimmy. It's Jimmy. Oh, the 156 proof. Yeah, that's pretty intense, man. Note from the old board. No, I mean, I picked it out, but it's a lot of work to do notes when it sells out in 9 minutes. Have a chance to meet you in person when I went to pick up an order, but some guy was talking your ear off about Costco prices and selection. Oh, I'm sorry, man. Just butt in next time. It's fine. Who has the mad Photoshop skills to make a cover for David After Dark? I will take all submissions. Bourbon guy here. I just dabbed into the Foursquare rums. Foursquare rums. Wow, amazing. This guy knows it. Yeah, Foursquare is great. Rum is great. We should do more rum here. I haven't tasted rum in a little while. Got a lot of exciting rums coming in. Golden Devil. Worthy Park. Single barrels. I just tasted the new Worthy Park Madeira cask. 10 years. Pretty fun. Good stuff, guys. Bear rug. I don't own a bear rug, but you know, one day. Panama. Yeah, all the Panama stuff. You know, the light rums can be less characterful, although Panama tends to have more. I'm a big fan of the blended and the pot stills. Although we got that new Yarmouth high ester, which is out of a column, and it's dope. Do you enjoy any of the YouTube whiskey channels? Ralphie. Love Ralphie. Foursquare live sessions was the best. That was cool, especially if you were there, because we cut like half of it out because it all fell apart. Any word on the 1983 Armagnac? Well, there's the... no, I don't know if I bought the 83 Barillon. Yeah, there's some stuff coming. Richard and his internet connection were hilarious. Richard's the best. He's a sweetheart. Any fun Armagnacs coming? Yes. Literally every vintage that Barillon has. We have Cardinats coming. We have Rare Armagnac Company coming. We have New Domaine Sei coming. It's all coming. And LAFC going to win on Saturday? Almost certainly not. But I'm still going to enjoy it. I highly recommend you go to the game. Ben Nevis Redacted. It's sold out. Won't be tasting. Any word on Shanks? I don't know. ADHD Whiskey is fun whiskey YouTube channel. I should check it out. I don't think I've seen it yet. Good to know. Input on Barrel Craft Spirits Armida. I like it. Solid. Not my favorite product of theirs, but it's good. I love that family affair. That 7-year-old Kentucky. It's dope. Any word on the Kalila Redacted? You mean, when is it going to be delivered? It should, I mean, it's all here. It's just getting processed. Russell's, yeah, I hope they didn't lose my pick again. Epic news on the Armagnac. So much Armagnac coming. I spent way too much money on Armagnac, but I know you guys will make it right. Heart blends are coming soon. Yeah, those should be here next week. Those are fun. $60 little 17-year-old blends, finished in sherry and port. They're good. The Dickel Tabasco finish. Not one of my favorite whiskeys, but I imagine the review would be fun. Where do you think the family affair is from? That's a great question. I don't know. It's hard to say. I think it might be Beam, which we don't see a lot of cast strength Beam at that age. I didn't open the High Plains Rye. That's an interesting one. That should be on the show. Could be Wild Turkey. That'd be great if it were Wild Turkey. It's really good. And that might make sense. It would be pretty unusual, but might happen. Like those insider prices on the old Scouts. Lots going on here, guys. Who picked the Larceny Buttercream Barrel? Thought it was a pretty funny name. That was Andrew. He's back, by the way. Hit up Andrew for some additional color. I'm so glad you'll be spending money on Armagnac because I'm going to need your help with that. But there's lots of good stuff. We'll open... I have vintages going back to 1900. We have the 23, the 24, 1923, 1924, 1929, 33, 58, 63, 64, I believe, 1970. Andrew isn't super into Instagram, but maybe I'll convince him. I think what I really want to do is taste all the single barrels with him one of these days. Shanto will buy anything 85. I think there's some 85 coming. There's definitely some 1980. I bought a ton of the 73, which was delish. And yeah, there is more high rest rye coming as well. Brett's birthday is Sunday. Congratulations. I don't think the Golden Devils will be in by then, but I can't say. LA versus San Francisco barrels would be great. That's a good call. We'd have to do that on the bourbon side because we picked the single malts pretty much together. People only need to drink more Armagnac. That's true. Steve knows what's up. I think a great option for bourbon drinkers. Lots going on, especially like the little guys. Larceny Barrel Proof, I'm sure we'll be back eventually. Who knows? We have trouble with the Heaven Hill stuff these days. We used to get so much of it. Rare Armagnac collection is excellent. Agreed. Puchegu, one of the very, very best distilleries. So sad about the Monsieur Laporte. But his Armagnacs live on. And they're spectacular. There's a new brand of Armagnac from that producer called Hontumbre. It's an 1987. We're looking at it. The prices are quite high, so we're going to probably stick to the rare Armagnac collection. Chateau Hontumbre 87. It should be like $200. When I'm usually able to sell them for significantly less. What's a good starter Armagnac? DeRose 20, I think, is the quintessential starter Armagnac. The thing about brandy is kind of like the opposite of bourbon, where bourbon, you spend more money and you get less bang for your buck, sort of. Like, the good stuff is really not that expensive when you can get it. In Armagnac, there are great $50 and $60 Armagnacs, but that's kind of like the baseline. $40, $50, $60 is the cheapest you're going to spend for serious stuff, unless you're planning to mix with it. And in that case, you want to look at like Pelléo, Reserve, or some of the single vintage stuff we get can be in that price range. Like Cardinat 05 was $60. But if you spend just a little bit more, you can get so much more out of it. You can get 20, 30, 40-year-old stuff under $200. And, in various styles, there's a huge variety of styles. You have the big, oaky, rich stuff. You have the lighter, floral stuff. I mean, obviously, the bourbon guys like the big, oaky stuff. So you want to look for a dark color because a lot of these producers aren't adding anything. So that implies that it spent more time in new oak and a higher proof. So less water added during the élevage. But those are the things to do. LA versus San Francisco Watkins duel. I love that. Although I picked both those barrels out, but whatever. Don't tell anybody. Ever thought of involving customers in a store pick selection process? It's illegal, Ben. I wish I could do that, but we're not legally allowed to do that. I'll second above question. I wish I could do that legally. It is not legal. Maybe we partner with a bar, but even then, like the samples, can't be distributed to the public in any legal way. What's the Whistle Pig Beyond Bonded? It's a new Whistle Pig product that's like a little bit. It's their Vermont distilled. It's a little bit higher proof than Bottle Bond. 101, I think. How about new small distilleries? Copper C, we've tried so hard with Copper C. And for the prices, it's been very, very difficult to sell them. Thank you, Andre. That's very kind. He says the KNL team is awesome. Savage Kurt Burning Chair would be a great option to host a group of customers, help pick, and even do an LASF bottling. We did one in SC, and that was great. Well, that's not legal, so I can't do that. Maybe if we all go to the distillery together one day. I'm not sure how you were able to do that legally, because that's not allowed. But do you plan to bring any more Nulu products in? I've bought what's available. There's a new batch of barrel proof coming. I'm going to wait to taste it because we have quite a bit of the batch 3. Batch 4 will be here soon. Kalaika. Oh, the 46 Bodegas Torre Albala is exquisite. You won't find a better sticky at any price point. It's spectacular. Kalila 7 Grand Prix was so good, Andre. I agree. Kalila is the best. I'm buying 3 Kalilas for next year. An 8-year with Thompson, redacted. A 12-year in sherry with Old Particular, and a 30-year. So there'll be plenty of Kalila to go around. Are you able to ask one of the independent guys to finish some young Kalilas in rum cask? Yeah, that might be a thing. I'll keep an eye out for that. Interesting question. Hunter Lang would be the one if we're going to do, although the price of their Kalila went up significantly, so I'm not sure what will be there. Hey, buddy, as always, it's been awesome. Yeah, thank you. Appreciate that, Whiskey Badger. Lots going on. Klein Leash, I have not a line on Klein Leash. Oh, I do have a very old Klein Leash. Yes, we bought an old barrel of Klein Leash. I was expecting to get a significant quantity. They turned out, I guess they must have split it with other people because they turned out 9 cases. So that's a bit of a bummer. It's very, very expensive, but it is very, very delicious. We do have a 25-year-old Cragganmore in sherry coming, which is exciting. The Klein Leash I was sad to see. It come out so small. You guys are taking all of my money with the great picks. Sorry, Bros Bourbon. I'm not that sorry. Any Ardbegs this year? There was supposed to be an Ardbeg on the table, and they sold it to someone else. So they've promised me they'll make it right, but they haven't yet. Peated Bunnahabhain's on the horizon. There's another one of the Stoishas coming from Signatory, which is exquisite. It's older, so not quite as punchy as the first one we did, but the prices are still really, really good. And highly recommend that. Any Diageo special releases set this year? Who knows? Diageo is a black box. We have no idea what's happening or what's coming or why or when. Everything is becoming expensive, although you'll notice the new Old Particulars when they're released are spectacularly priced. 12-year-old Kalila is going to be like less than $70 or something ridiculous like that. I couldn't believe it. Can you get some of the 95 K&L Klein Leash 23-year? I would give up my car for I have half a bottle. You can give me half a car. The second Fortaleza question. Single barrel is still coming. We're now almost a month after when it was expected, which is typical these days. So, yeah, I'd say probably the next couple of weeks, but you never know. Sherry Bunnahabhain likes that signature more Sherry Booney. No Sherry Bunnahabhain right now. There is more of that one on the shelf. The cast strength 13-year. It's very, very delicious and very expensive. More of the OFBP, or was that? We have another barrel coming. So this barrel is sold out, it seems. It would seem. But there is a second barrel for NorCal coming, so keep an eye out. Fortaleza single barrel equals when? Soon. It was supposed to be early August, so now it's late August, and I assume maybe early September. Cavalon has nothing for us, unfortunately. Nothing of note. God, this wild turkey smells awesome. I can smell it from a foot away. What is the Kalila Fault Line 7 gram in rum cask? This was a collab we did with 7 grand some time ago. It was bottled by Hunter Lang. A 7-year-old Kalila finished for 2 years in rum cask. It was delicious for like $60. Have you read anything from New Riff if they might be starting to release bottles older than 4 years? I don't think they're really planning to do that right now. 4-year-old bottle and bond's pretty delish. I think they're taking their time. $7,000 in downtown LA. Is it worth for some rare stuff? Yeah. I mean, they have an incredible selection. If you've never been there, it's definitely an experience. Prices are as you'd expect. But occasionally there's some really interesting stuff there. I'm pretty sure that Kalila's all gone now. Stag Junior pick, is it coming this year? Yes, fall Stag Junior pick. Tried one from Albertsons. That's why we don't get as much whiskey anymore. Fortaleza, San Miguel pick. San Miguel Matias pick is coming very soon. I think it's actually been in stock for a long time, but they forgot the medallion somehow. So that might be here as early as next week. It's an extra añejo from San Matias. Hell yeah, delish. Rank the Dalian versus the Mortlach versus the Blair Athol. They're so different. If you don't love peat, the Dalian is gorgeous. It's so drinkable. It's not overly heavy sherry. The Blair Athol next, and if you don't love peat, then the Mortlach, because there is definitely a little bit of peat on there. What's gone? Oh, the Klein Leash. Yes, it is gone. So, the Kalila is gone, yes. Yeah, it's all about jackalope. It's all about bar jackalope if you're going to get weird, get wild. Did you like the seagrass? Do you know anything about the 14 to 16-year-old seagrass? I did enjoy the seagrass. Pretty intense stuff. I liked it a lot. I think it's a really great example of the blending prowess of the team. I don't know anything about the 15, 16-year-olds, so there you go. Miggy, you need me, bud?
You want to say hi?
Oh, hey, Miggy. If a tree falls in the wood and no one is around to hear it, does it make... does it make a difference when the Fortaleza barrel gets here? Okay, Fortaleza is... Everybody's on Fortaleza. Okay, guys. Any other interesting questions? This has been pretty wild. I'm really liking this wild turkey rare breed. I'm going to go sit down and write a review about it. So, it's exciting. Glen Alecky, 19. Linkwood. Guerrero. Pal Alma. Come on, look at that bad boy. This is the bomb. It's really, really delicious. So, this has been fun, guys. Thanks so much for coming. What's the lottery we need to email about? The lottery was Jimmy Russell's first year in the bourbon industry. David Gerard at KLWines.com. 6 names out of a hat for my final 6 bottles of Russell's 13 year. At least for now. Hopefully there'll be more. And David Gerard, Girard at KLWines.com. And that'll do. Yeah, I think you'll find it there. Before you go, can you do a lap around the back room so we can wait? No, but I'll maybe next time. Because I don't have a mask, so I'm sequestered right now. Gonna crack the Brave All tomorrow night. It's dope. Big Shanto, you know what's up. Brett, thanks for coming by, buddy. Thanks for that great review. I read that. Really appreciate it. Anytime people are talking about our whiskeys, I'm happy, and particularly when they like them. Yeah, thanks, friends, and we'll see you next week, I'm sure. I hope. All right, be well. Ciao.